for women, and it's also a multicultural, like the 3 teachers who are teaching it are 3 different races. So that makes it also like just all the layers, all the things, all of everything. So it just like that, just like Ignite Your Inner Goddess, like just kicked it off, and I've been like up and running since then, and it's just blossoming.
Yeah, I love that. I started the recording, by the way, because I was like, I think it's about time for us to begin. But yeah, I feel like that too is something that I'm considering, like with Ignite Your Inner Goddess. I'm like trying to consider ways that I can include folks from the coven. I think this year, instead of doing like a freebie for my Instagram followers, I'm going to do a freebie for my patrons only, and then do kind of like a pay what you can like scholarship for IG followers, so that somebody can get a chance who might not have had a chance.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like already, girl, my wheels are already spinning about that. And at once I get some things clarified, I would love to do like a little bit of a mastermind and pick your brain as one of the speakers, and
Absolutely. I would love to. I'm totally with you.
Yay! All right, well, I just crossed my body, and that's something that energetically we don't want to do, because we want all of our body to just be flowing. I do like to touch my feet when I'm sitting, and have my hands together, because then I feel like I'm like the physical embodiment of an infinity sign. So everything feels like a circuitry that's flowing. But it's often best not to like cross your legs or your arms or whatever. So let's just start out with an open body, an open presence, open heart, open mind, and closed eyes as we take a few deep breaths together and just center ourselves in this moment. Inhale. Hold for 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Inhale. And as you inhale, breathe in the light and hold it. Let it swirl through your body and mingle with anything that's feeling dark right now. And invite it to release as you exhale. Another inhale. And as you hold, let a smile just creep across your face. And with a big smile and mouth open, we're going to exhale. Okay.
That was yummy.
Yeah. We are here for ourselves, for no one fucking else. We are in this moment with no other obligations. You agreed with yourself. You are obligated to yourself to let everything else that might trouble your brain, that pops up, go immediately until the end of this meeting, and just let it sit on the back burner, because this is your time. You deserve it. You didn't have to earn it. You just were born deserving it. So this is our new moon in Virgo Moonifesting Ritual Gathering. I'm so excited for us to get this started. I feel like I have this like rush of energy. It's like when you have, so like personal note, I do have like a little crush that I've been talking to, and I do have like the butterflies from that. But also this is something else that gives me the butterflies, that gives me that rush of like we're doing something big and cool together. And the more that we amplify our energies by bringing them together, the greater change that we will see in the world. I 100% believe that. So what we're going to be doing as a little rundown, Sarah, you already know like the rules of engagement as far as the video conference calls go, but I'm just going to say this for those who watch the replay. As we do this, normally I'll have everybody muted unless somebody has something to say. Probably the bigger we get, I'll definitely enforce like using the video portion so that we can see you and you can kind of hand raise whenever you feel like saying something. But for now, while we have just a few people, I'll leave the everybody unmuted. But typically when we are muted, it's like you want to woo people and you want to celebrate what they're talking about, or if you agree with them, you want to give the jazz hands or the spirit fingers or raise the roof, whatever feels good for you. We celebrate here. This is about gratitude and appreciation and supporting one another. So those are rules. If you feel good, you must use jazz. No, I'm just kidding. or like a shimmy or something. I don't. There you go. So if you have any questions that come up during something that is silent or something that is intended to kind of push us through to something else, but you want to bring something up, hit it up in the chat box and we will get there when we get there, because everything happens in due time. And I promise you, you know, your thoughts are important. And I think just respecting the flow of this space is also very important. So we can do both. We can have both always. We don't have to pick one. We can treat ourselves. What we're going to be doing during this particular ritual, I asked for y'all to have either a slip of paper or a seed that you brought. And I actually have, I have not just like a seed, but I have seeds from this cute card that that my friend, you know, like she wrote me something on here, but like there are seeds in this that you can like plant and water, and like wildflowers will grow. Yeah, and I just like really knew that I needed this for something, but I didn't know what. And the reason that we're using seeds is because Virgo is earth energy. It is one that wants us to be grounded in our service to ourselves and our service to the earth. And as we move forward in our ritual, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting intentions with the seeds and or with the piece of paper and write out the words that we would like to plant, because this may be something that, because we're hitting autumn and we're going through winter and spring is yet another long distance away from here, we may not see it for a while. And I really believe that Virgo is, because Virgo is so organized and, you know, such a planner and likes to serve from a place of knowing which steps to take. I think this is like the perfect new moon for us to plant intentions that we know ahead of time and are conscious about are not going to happen immediately. So these are like, this is going to be not just like a right now, I need some money kind of intention setting. This is going to be like big goal intention setting and looking at the big picture. I said to bring snacks. So if you have any snacks and you would like to be munching, please just go at it, go for it. Those of you who watch in the replay, munch along, munch along with us, because that is something I feel like every time I want to imbue some of the element of the sign that we're working with. And we're representing earth with food. When we encounter a water element, I'm going to make sure that we have fluids with us and we take water breaks together. When we're working with air elements, I'm going to probably start us off with music and we'll do a dance party to, get things flowing. I'm like, see, even it's like the shit that I have in my head that I'm like, I'm going to do this. But like having somebody else to be excited about it is like, and then for the fire element, that is going to be the time that we like put our intentions on slips of paper and we bring our own, BYOC, bring your own candle. And that way we can right here and right now.
I was just looking, I had like a lighter. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was like, I have a lighter here somewhere.
Yeah, so that way, even if you want to burn your intentions in like the privacy of your own like ritual space, that is totally fine, but at least we can get a little bit of smoke happening for all of us to bring our energies together. So every single time, like there is going to be a reason and a purpose for us to be bringing things into this space. Go ahead, Sarah.
Sorry, I also had read recently about if you take a wax candle, and you write your intention in the wax, and then you burn the candle. So that could be something else. Instead of writing it on a slip of paper, you can write it into the candle and then burn the candle, which is another cool thing that we can incorporate. I just had that pop into my brain while you were talking. I was like, that would be cool.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that would be incredible because that's actually, I'm about to cross my body. It's so unconscious, isn't it? That's something that, would be better for setting intentions as opposed to releasing things anyway. So That's incredible. Thank you for that idea. We're definitely going to do that. And I will probably be calling upon you to, when we get there, kind of help guide us a little bit.
Absolutely.
So with this Virgo season, that has just begun, the first new moon that we got, the first major phase that we got is in Virgo. And because this is going to be like a big goal, I figured this would be a great time to bring out the goddesses and really get into how we can set intentions at this time for our head, our heart, and our home space to get like the most of what it needs. We don't even need to verbalize the words. We just know what that means. And because the intentions that we set are so personal, I don't expect everyone to want to share intentions, but I'm definitely going to share mine. I honestly don't know what they are yet. I really wanted to do these cards because I feel like they're going to help guide us and they're going to give us a clearer idea of the kind of thing that not just like we want to seed and we want to see grow, but the kind of thing that the universe is like, this is the best time, bitch. You better listen.
I love that.
All right. So as I begin to pull the cards, I would love for you to just place your hand over your heart and or your stomach. I usually do both. And really just focus your intentions on the big picture. What is it if you had to set a big goal and reverse engineer it, work backward from there without having to put in almost any energy? Like as soon as you say that that's what you want and that's how you want to do it, the universe just takes care of everything else. please, goddesses, help us see in our mental space, in our emotional space, and in our physical embodiment, feel in our bodies what that path may be and how we can take that personally. Oh, we got two. We got two Atlanteas. That's fun. Atlantea is goddess of the unexpected. I was like, if we get a third Atlantea, I'm gonna scream. Atlantea is the goddess of the unexpected, and there were two heart cards that came up. One of them was Artemis, and the other, it was like, you're missing the one that was on the bottom. And I was like, okay. And of course, it's Atlantea coming up again. So I think once we're finished kind of reading through all of these, then it will be great to acknowledge the goddess and read more about her so that we can learn about the goddess Atlantea and figure out how her story ties into the story that we're telling ourselves right now. So in our head, she's telling us to think freely. And this is Atlantea's headspace. Mm-hmm. She is telling us, resist all preconceived notions, which is totally what Virgos freaking do, is we assume everything because we just want to know. I just want to know.
You know now.
Right. I want to know everything. So she said, resist. Stir things up. Think about taking actions that go against accepted beliefs. So maybe this is a time for us to meditate a little bit on which beliefs we accept without really tuning into how they play a role in our lives. Study and teach unusual viewpoints and theories.
Ooh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Ancient ways can inspire your new future. Do not fear embarrassment or the opinions of others. Expect the unexpected. So this is like a true anti-perfectionist reading right now, because thinking freely is the opposite of what perfectionist Virgo energy looks like. Perfectionist Virgo energy looks like thinking controlledly, thinking with as much control as possible. And in order for us to think freely, we're going to have to really open ourselves up. Like I said, open your heart, open your mind, open up that can-do attitude, and really recognize that every answer lies within you if you start to ask new questions, if you start to examine the new viewpoints that you haven't quite used a magnifying glass on quite yet. Did you have something to say, or were you just wooing?
No, that was an ooh. That was like an ooh.
So we're going to read Atlantea's heart as well, and then I'm going to dive into the goddess and then come back to the reading because I feel like she has like a lot of, yeah. So this is her heart space. Mm-hmm. And she is telling us to feel, what does that say? Oh, feel detachment. I was like, I can't read that backwards. She's saying to feel detachment. Emotional detachment is essential now, which is absolutely what you have to do if you have a goal and you really know how you want to feel at the end. but you don't want to feel all those horrible ways as you fail along the way there, because that is just going to trip you up even more. If you're attached to feeling good the whole way, then you're just going to fuck yourself. Sorrow and anger can arise when the negative effects of the situation are fully realized. Peace begins where your expectations end, for all expectations are unreasonable. I was literally, I have goosebumps all over my body, because all expectations are unreasonable is a phrase that I've been using for the past week, just the past few days. And I learned it from this card. I learned that phrase from this freaking card. So this is like a big deal. This is take note. This is peace begins where your expectations end. For all expectations are unreasonable. See yourself from afar, watching lovingly as you act and react. Then you will not eliminate the good old ways when you eliminate the bad. I have so many goosebumples right now. Atlantia, you're doing something that is so magical. And I would love to know if there was anything in that stood out for you just now.
All expectations are unreasonable. It's just like, so I'm like not even sure how to put this into words. I have like a download that like this is going to happen in the next year, this thing, and it's going to happen with another person, and you have to find this other person who this is like it's going to happen with. And I keep thinking like, oh, this is the person. Oh, this is the person. Oh, this is the person. I have like 10 million thousand expectations, and not only that, every time I zero in on a person, I like create a whole storyline of how it's going to happen with that person. And I've just like spent nights thinking about it where I'm not sleeping. I'm just creating this whole story arc for myself of like, oh, we're going to have this happen and then this happen and then this. And I was just like, what are you doing? So that's just like, this is the exact message that I need in this exact moment as I'm preparing for this thing. It's just like, it could not be the better message for me in this moment. So I'm just like, I'm going to probably do a whole Instagram post or a story about all expectations are unreasonable, because it's like the biggest thing for me. On the flip side of that, which is hysterical to me, is I love to make up arguments in my brain with people where I'm mad at someone that they did something. So I'll spend all night creating this story about how we have an argument when I confront them about the thing. And I get madder and madder as we're in this argument, and I'm just steaming. And then when I finally talk to the person about it, they're like, oh, okay, sure, it's fine. I'm sorry. And I'm just like, but we were going to have an argument. We had an argument in my brain. So
I was preparing.
Negative expectations are unreasonable. All of them are unreasonable. I feel like I need to have that tattooed on my forehead.
I was literally like, I think I need that tattooed on my body somewhere so I can just like remember whatever I'm creating expectations to be like, oh, yeah. Atlantia said, I gotta listen to her. I mean, that's just, I gotta listen. So I'm going to really quickly read her story, and then I'm going to talk about, she kind of gives like, they kind of give more about the head. So this is like the purple, like words to invoke, the red, which is the heart, and then the green, which is the home. We're not going to read the home part because it was just the head and the heart cards.
Got it.
I'm going to read that once we do her story, because I just love learning about them. And this is an incredible deck, Oracle of the Goddess. I don't know if they even make this anymore, because I got this from my aunt years ago, after she passed away. So I don't know how long she's had this thing, but there are 12 goddesses in here, and they all represent, oh, this is not the sixth, wait, which one is the sixth one? Oh, I'm gonna do some scouting right now.
If she's the sixth one, that'll be kind of wild, because Virgo is the sixth sign in the zodiac. So if she's the sixth one,
Artemis was our other heart card. That's why she had to come through. She's the sixth one.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, she represents our Virgo energy. So that, and she says feel capable, which is such a Virgo thing to say. So we'll get to her, but I just had to know because I was like, the universe is too clever for us if we don't pay attention, you know? Oh, okay. So this is Atlantea's story. Story time.
Story time.
Once upon a time, Atlantea is our conception of what attributes would have been ascribed to the goddess by the women and men of the lost continent of Atlantis. The most powerful goddesses and gods of every known culture reflected in both their personalities and their myths the most important issues of their time and the role models deemed necessary to address those issues. Atlantea would have represented this type of detached, dispassionate, scientific observation of the needs, benefits, and problems associated with all things in life, which is a little bit Virgo too. So it's interesting that this is how she approaches her like scientific, without the investment. The scientific advancements attributed to the Atlantean culture surpass our own. Tales are told of unlimited solar power distributed without wires to all, as well as flying and underwater vessels. It is virtually certain that if Atlantis existed, its people were intimately familiar with the fact that all matter is made of the same energy, as rediscovered by Albert Einstein in his theory of relativity, E equals mc squared. Legend says the final destruction of the land in 10,000 BC came as a result of the struggle between the disciples of the Law of One and the disciples of Belial or Baal. The Law of One taught that all of creation is one, while the worshippers of Belial thought that nature and the powerless were theirs to use and abuse.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. The one worshipped in Atlantis was acknowledged as having both a female and male aspect. Both a female and female aspect. Atlantea was, we don't need the other one, but we do, low-key. Atlantea was the completely independent female half of a partnership with an equally independent male god. I love that. Possibly named Atlantis. They symbolize the advantages available to all who would put differences aside and work together, using their strengths to compensate for each other's weaknesses. That's like the story of this year. As we've been reparenting our inner child, we've been recognizing that like we were put down so many times for our flaws, and we had that be like the focus as opposed to people recognizing and uplifting our strengths. I was actually very fortunate to have teachers who saw me be good at English and focused me on that, and saw me be good at art and wanted me to be in an art school. Like, I was very lucky to have been supported in those ways. And yet there are so many people who only feel like they're getting the heel of the boot and like they are not appreciated for what they're good at. And this is totally like one of the biggest messages that we've been learning this year. So as we are, halfway through the zodiac year, we are remembering this message that it is your strengths, not your weaknesses, that you want to grow, right? That's what you need to focus on. What you focus on grows, and your strengths are way more important than trying to fix all of your weaknesses, because guess what? People are strong at the things you are weak at. Pay them to do it. Hire them to do it. Collaborate with them to do it. Don't be the one. Don't try to do everything. You're not meant to do everything. Okay. And rant.
Great rant. Love the rant.
So I'm going to read her words for her head and her heart. And that way we can get into the spirit of this. So let's do a little repeat after me, and we'll see how that feels. So I look at my life's goals
I look at my life's goals
as if seeing them for the first time.
as if seeing them for the first time.
I am too much a skeptic
I am too much a skeptic
not to believe that anything is possible.
not to believe that anything is possible.
I like that one. Let's take a breath. Anything is possible. Let's do our heart now. I feel emotionally detached.
I feel emotionally detached.
I do my part to right the wrongs.
I do my part to right the wrongs.
I see threatening the well-being
I see threatening the well-being
of all involved.
of all involved.
Sometimes we're the ones who are being threatened by our own mental capacity for overthinking and second guessing and hoping and praying that we are doing things right. And yet, like she said, we need to take a step back and view ourselves from afar and love ourselves while at the same time we called in this big picture energy, right? She literally said, you need to step back and you need to look at the whole picture. You need to not, narrowly focus on just like the one thing, because it may turn out to be only a piece of the puzzle, only a piece of the whole thing. So
Share a thought in that. I was recently doing like a kind of a clearing, following a meditation. It was like a clearing meditation, and the person guiding it, he said, I'm committed to doing good, and that includes good for myself. And I just like had this whole brain warp of like every time. Are you still with me? You froze. Am I here? Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
You froze in like a really wild gesture, so it was awesome. But anyhow, when we're thinking about doing good, like I'm committed to doing good. I have to save the rainforest. I have to help all different races and creeds. I have to help my family. I have to do this. I have this cause. Planned Parenthood, ACLU. You're like, I have to do good for all these things, and my list is 10 million things long. And you remember, like, oh wait, I'm committed to doing good, and I am committed to doing good for me too. I can do good by doing good for me, because that's also good. That's also part of the action of doing good. And I was just like, oh yeah.
I had an incredible, I went to a past life regression on Tuesday night, and it sparked a lot of things for me. But fortunately, one of the meditations that she did before we started the regression, just to kind of get us relaxed and more relaxed and more relaxed, one of them was just feeling into our heart space. And for me, it felt like a really deep well. And usually people talk about like a vessel, like having your container so that you can pour it into other people's cups. And I thought, this well that's within me is so deep that like sometimes there is enough water for tons and tons of people in there, but it's so deep even I can't see it, and nobody else can like see down my well into what's really there. And that's why I've got to be the one to go and pull it up and like, be the one to offer. But it's also like the more you have in there, the more you have for you, the more that you feel like you're not just using the well water to put out every fire that you see, that it feels important to you, and deplete and deplete and deplete and deplete from that. The more you feel like I have leftover, I have enough, I have more than enough, because it's a well and it's tied to like the spring of love that comes and flows from the universe. My spring never dries up. And all I have to do is be the one to agree to let it in. And I think that's what kind of, popped up for me as you said that, is like, it's not just like agreeing that your mission in life is to help other people. It's agreeing to accept the love from the universe who sent you to do the mission. Like, you can't go, like, 007 doesn't go in without all of the, the cool top secret toys. And as long as you're the one who is, resisting the help, you are never going to complete your mission without hurting yourself, without getting run out, without giving up. I mean, it's just the whole list, the whole list of everything could just go wrong without inviting it in. So
Yes.
Let's see how we can invite more in, see the bigger picture with our final heart card, as well as with our home card, which is funny because it's Aphrodite. So there's a lot of affection and love even in the environmental space that we are creating for ourselves. Oh my gosh. I just have to show you already. Her thing says, visualize your goal.
I love that. I love it.
This is why these cards are so brilliant, because I literally I feel like my aunt's hands and like my ancestors' hands just like touch the cards and are like, this one. Okay, so let's listen to Artemis, who is a goddess of discernment, and she is associated with the 6th house, which is tied to the Virgo energy. So this is probably going to be like usually I have like an obstacle card with my readings, and I'm getting the sense that this is something that may be telling us this is what is keeping you from doing what Atlantia says, doing what Aphrodite says. So listen to Artemis and you can do all of the rest. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So the goddess of discernment says, believe in your ability to handle anything you may encounter. Emotions must be analyzed to prevent misguided reactions to unfounded fears. The unknown is always with us and must be embraced if we would live a full life. Anxiety builds when we are desperate to know the outcome of plans and actions before they have reached fruition. So this is like what I was saying right at the beginning, is it's going to take a while. If you start to falter in your patience and in your faith, like Atlantia and Aphrodite, because she's saying visualize your goal. They both want us to have a focus. They want us to have faith with detachment, and they want us to have patience. And what patience means is waiting happy. You can be waiting and be anxious about it, or you can wait happily. And every time you wait happy, you let the universe know, I'm still here. My hands are still open. You know what happens when you're anxious? Your hands literally, you have a physical, like, psychosomatic reaction to being anxious, where your hands just tighten up, or you're tapping, or you're just aggressively holding on, and that keeps you from, and your jaw locks up. It keeps you from saying, I'm still here, I'm still available, I'm still open, my heart is open, my mind is open, I'm ready to receive whenever. I don't have to decide. I know that this is a long-term thing. I love myself no matter what happens, no matter how I falter along the way, because when I look at myself from afar and I recognize you have to fail and make mistakes in order to succeed, in order to get there, when we recognize that, we allow ourselves to actually enjoy the journey, which is such a cheesy thing. It's always like, it's about the journey, not the destination. And yet the destination is a big fucking deal. It's a really big fucking deal. And that's the thing that keeps us so excited to keep going, is the destination. We're like, we know we're going to get there. So let's hear what Aphrodite has to say about visualizing the goal. Then what we're going to do is we're going to move into maybe like 2 minutes of just writing out our goal and our intention. Even if it's not something like a specific goal, it can be an intention to invite love in. It can be an intention to recognize how you contain love so that you can serve others, how you serve others, how it feels good for you to serve others. If that's what you want to learn in the long term, that is a goal too. So we're open to anything. And the goddess Aphrodite, goddess of affection, is telling us, you created your present situation by either desiring it, fearing it, or both.
Oof.
Yeah, your subconscious mind created what you needed to deal with in material reality. It can also manifest your new wishes. Every morning, write down and form a clear picture of your goals in your mind. For several minutes, act and feel as if you have already attained them. It works. Literally, she says it works. She's like, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
It works. So this is something that I worked with a business mentor, and I would suggest to fucking everybody, whether or not you have your own thing, is futuring, visualizing, envisioning what it is, and then speaking to yourself as though it is the end of the day that it has happened. So like, you got the email that morning. What did the email say? How did you freak out? Did you call somebody? Did you tell somebody? What did it inspire you to do? Once you got there, what did that look like for you? And how can you start to feel that way right now in your daily life? Did you feel so fucking grateful that you started calling more people and to tell them that you love them, and that's how you started serving them more? Did you feel so grateful in your mind when you were envisioning that space that you were in? Did you feel so grateful and appreciative that you had followed through on X, Y, and Z because you know that's the only way to get there? Now, follow through. Call those people. Do the thing. This is what she's saying, is you have to act, and it has to be, like Atlantia said, it has to be from a space where you're not expecting exactly that in return, because the universe is always going to give us that or better, which is what I love. Kara Kovacs, my friend in New York, who is an incredible sexpert and educator and just goddess witch, she always talks about this or better, how the cosmic kitchen is cooking up something brilliant for you, and you can put in your order and imagine how it's going to taste, and you can feel the action of salivating, and you can imagine what it smells like. You can get really tuned into it. And then if this server, the cosmic server, gives you something that, you know, doesn't look like what you were expecting, then you need to be the one to not settle. You need to be the one to say, I'm sending this back. I said this or better. That was not better. I believe in you, universe. We are co-creators. Okay, you got this.
Before we go into writing it down, I wanted to share also something, if you have space.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So if you're done with your reading. I don't want to like jump into the middle of your reading.
We are finished.
Cool. So before we got on this call, I just looked at my deck and I was like, oh, let me pull a card and see if there's anything that we need to know on this call for the new moon. What do we need to know, basically? And one card popped out, which is the Hermit.
The Hermit.
And this is actually from my deck, the St. Petersburg Tarot, and it's like an illuminated, like, you know, those illuminated, like, little Russian boxes. So each card was painted like that, and the details are friggin' awesome.
Love it.
Got his little lantern, and he's going off on his journey. So what I love is the Hermit is ruled by the same planet as Virgo is ruled. Both are ruled by Mercury, which is awesome that this card popped out. And then also I'm going to share a minor pet peeve about, you know, Virgo and the Hermit and the whole thing. So everybody thinks about Virgo and the Virgin. And when I was a teenager, I was so sad that I was a Virgo because I thought I was going to be a virgin forever because, you know, that's what the Virgo is all about. The virgin, the maiden, you know, all of that. And I was like, oh, I'm never going to have sex. Why am I a Virgo? And as I've gone along on my journey, I've recently learned, and I haven't found a primary source on this, so I'm trying to find where this information comes from, but I learned from 3 different tarot reader astrologers that the Vestal Virgins has nothing to do with the fact that they never had sex. All it's about, and what it's really about, is that they were inside their own energy, beholden to no one else. They were without karmic or cosmic ties, no curlicues of energy going inwards or outwards about them. They were just whole in and of themselves. And that's what was so important about the work that they did, because they had to serve the goddess Vesta, and in order to serve her, they had to be karmically and cosmically detached from all other human beings, male or female, sexual partners, relationships, friendships, everything. They were just in and of themselves. And that also has hugely to do with the Hermit, because the Hermit is also detached from everybody else's shit, and he's going off to do his own thing, just like the Vestal Virgins. So I recently learned that the Virgo sign is not about, oh, you're never going to have sex. It's much more about being within your own energy, being of service, and being a part of this ritual of healing and service. And I thought that was friggin' awesome, and it was great for me to learn that. It has nothing to do with what I had carried, this huge baggage for so long. So I definitely wanted to share that. And I also love that the Hermit popped out, just hanging out with us. So I think that's, you know, putting that into the reading that we just had and putting that into everything that we've been talking about tonight, it really is manage your expectations, and no expectations are true, and be in your own energy and stop fucking around, basically. Not in the literal sense, fuck whoever you want, however you want, whenever you want, as long as it's consensual. But in terms of stop creating stories in your brain and stop creating these cosmic curlicues. I really do picture them as curlicues attaching to things they don't need to be attached to, because you created it out of whatever in your brain.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, the detachment is so important, because it really is just being your own wellspring of energy and not letting anything that you think other people might feel or assume about you as you are on that journey and as you are laying down each piece of the puzzle. People are going to be like, no, you put that piece in the wrong place. And you're going to be like, I know that I didn't, and if I did, I will be corrected by the by the cosmos. I don't,
Yeah.
We've got that conversation on lock, and I love how the visual of the Hermit had a lantern, where you start to understand that the Hermit's journey is not one where he has a map and where he can see from a distance and where he can only see what the lamp is casting a light on, which is just your own physical space. And we get very tied up in the little details of where we are right here and now, and recognizing that the Hermit's path is not about talking to every squirrel on the way there. It's about enjoying the journey and knowing it's a part of something greater. So I love that.
Awesome.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
So if you have your snacky and you want to do a little bit of snacking or munching while I just have some water right now, because I already had some Zen, yes. But also we're going to do I think I'm gonna, oh, I don't even have turned my phone off because I was getting very distracted by the guy that I'm talking to. And I was like, I just need to, literally, that's why I shut my phone all the way off. Because I was like, I need to have no distractions while I'm doing this. So I don't have my thing, but let me minimize this. Yes, that would be, I'm like, I have to do everything myself. I really don't. Yeah.
That's the whole point of having a coven.
Thank you for reminding me.
And I'm also going to throw your own words back at you from the beginning. You don't have to have all the strengths. Remember that?
Please throw my words back at me because sometimes they don't bounce off of people and stick back onto me, not the rubber and glue thing, okay? So please be my rubber. Please be my mirror so that I can live my best life too.
Yes, so you don't have to have all the strengths. You can let other people do stuff too. So I can put a timer and we can do the thing without you having to hold up the whole world. We got it. We got this.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. This is so beautiful. I love that this is how we are beginning things. I love that this is how we are starting things. Okay, so
all right.
Let us do 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we have ample time to just sit with our thoughts and write down what we want our intention to be. And this will be something that we will go, and if you choose a plant, or if you just want to put it in a yard somewhere, if you have an ancestor who you know where their grave is and you want to go bury it with them and ask for them to watch over it, like that's what we're doing. We're earthing it. Go ahead.
Another thought is to put it under your mattress and sleep on it, and it grows with you as you sleep. That just like popped into my brain, but I also love the idea of going to an ancestor. I hadn't heard that before. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that it just like came to me just now, and I was like, I feel like I have to say it because somebody's gonna feel that. But I also recognize that like I set intentions on slips of paper. I set an intention for my health, an intention for my love life, an intention for my finances, and I put one with a money tree. I put one with an onion chive plant, and then another one with oregano. The oregano was my health plant, and just going and watering them and not thinking about the intention, but just like, I love you so much. You represent my finances. I love you so much. And like to get what you need, you know, like I'm here for you. I'm paying attention to you. I'm focusing on you. Taking complete like control off of how the intention manifests, but giving in that focus and giving in that gratitude every day and making it like a ritualized thing helps to extend the ritual that we are doing now into, you know, that 6 to 9 months from now that we are going to be seeing this goal grow.
Absolutely. And then the idea of putting it under your mattress is literally to like dream on it and to like have it like your dreams are, your goals are your dreams, and you're just kind of, as you're dreaming, it's dreaming with you.
It's like osmosis. Yeah.
That's how I wanted to study. I was like, can I sleep on the textbook?
If only that really worked, that we could just like plug in and upload.
It does work for manifesting.
It does work for manifesting. Yes.
I can give you that. It doesn't put knowledge into your brain, but it does work for manifesting.
Oh. Yeah. And I find that having like a crystal that you designate with that thing and with that energy as well, and if it's small enough and or flat enough to put under your mattress with it, that also like I'll make sure that like my amethyst one is centered where my third eye usually rests. Or that if I have something that is, you know, like kyanite, I'll go and make sure it's where my throat chakra usually rests. So, you know, going and tuning into that kind of thing to whatever feels intuitively best for you and most satisfying, that's what works. There is nothing that actually works. Everything works.
That's just one of the whole point of being a witch. It's like you create the ritual yourself. I feel like the best ones are like, I just made this up and I'm going to do it and I believe in it.
Yep, that's why Book of Shadows, it doesn't mean it's like an actual book that you can buy in the store. It's like your own shit on paper.
Just like what this one is.
Right. I know. I'm like, I got a couple of those. They're just pieced together by.
It's like I have two with me right now. Actually, I'm just like, yeah, they're both alive right now. And
they're worn. Yes, they're lived in and loved.
Oh yes. All right. Yeah.
All right.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Are you ready?
Go for it, babe. Yep.
Right. Starting. So it appears that's already 2 minutes, which I'm kind of like, how did that just happen?
I was gonna say 3 because it goes really quickly, but I'm like wrapping up right now. Like I'm on my last sentence. So if you need more time, then we can do another minute.
I think I did it.
Nice. Would you like to share?
I'm just going to share the funny thing that I did. So on one side of the paper, I wrote, all expectations are unreasonable. And on the other side, I put all of what I want, all my manifestations. So I'm just like, however this shows up and the way that it's supposed to show up, I welcome it. And as Kara said, at least this or better.
Yes.
Which I think I might.
Or better. Yes. Yeah. Let your cosmic server know that when it comes back from the kitchen, it better be this or better. I love you. Surprise me.
I love that.
I'll tip you well. I'll keep doing your service. I'll keep doing good for you. Yeah, I kind of went into like an I am affirmation zone. So I'm just gonna read them because it felt really good to just kind of blank out and let my hand do all of the channeling essentially. I am financially abundant. I am a servant of my own desires. I am a wellspring of love. I am manifesting speaking opportunities. I am manifesting a network of up-leveling badasses. I am manifesting the financial freedom to visit a Janice and Felipe. I am abundant naturally.
And so it is.
And so it is. I feel like as we close out, because I believe, yes, we are about finished with our gathering for this evening. As we close out, I would love to say that if you have like a mantra that pops up for you, sing it, write it 100 times, create some kind of movement or symbol or something that is associated with that thing. And that way it doesn't have to be like you remembering exactly what it is every time. Again, it's about the feeling. It's about like you seeing it and being like, yes, that's something I'm manifesting. Thank you. And you just keep, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you're coming. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you that you're coming. And you keep the gratitude spirit, the attitude of gratitude is with you. I just crossed my legs again and I realized that. So let's take a couple of clearing breaths after these few messages. The first is that we are going to take these seeds and or pieces of paper and choose something living, choose something that is a part of the earth that we know takes time to grow and is watching out for our best interests. Choose something and allow that to be a part of the process. Allow that to be a part of you tapping and tuning into that energy. Second thing is exactly what Sarah put on her paper. All expectations are unreasonable. So as you know that goals are important to have because they are dreams coming true, they are dreams just formed and being shaped in reality. Goals are also a destination that may lead you somewhere you didn't know that you were going to go. And when you expect that on your way there, you're going to get what you need, then you're on your way. You're already on your way. You're already on your best path. You're already living your best life. And you are a wellspring of love. All right. So with that in mind, do you want to say anything before we do some closing breaths?
I have a little new moon song. If you want, we can add it in a little bit. It's a wee little song.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Let's find it. Yeah. Welcome, new moon, thank you for your blessings. Welcome, new moon, thank you for your blessings. Goodbye, old moon, thank you for your lessons. Goodbye, old moon, thank you for your lessons.
I love that. I love Goodbye Old Moon because I don't think of I think of the new moon as like the name of the phase and not like a new moon that's starting fresh, but that's exactly what we're doing. And I love that. That was perfect. Thank you so much for that. All right, we're going to take 3 more. And so we will have taken 6 breaths together on this on this call. I know it's just the synchronicity. It's just too perfect. So we're going to take 3 more breaths together. And as we are taking these breaths, I want you to begin envisioning yourself in a space where all of your affirmations and all of your dreams have manifested, and what they look and feel like, and the kind of color that plays on your heart as you feel this. What kind of colors are coming up? What kind of feelings? Pay attention to those. Let those sink in and let them be yours to take with you as we finish and as we close out. So we're going to exhale all of our old air. Goodbye, old moon. Inhale. And hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Inhale behind your heart. And hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. Release the tension in your face, in your eyebrows, in your nose, in your cheeks, in your chin. Inhale. And hold as you relax your face and let a grin spread across your face, and smile wide as we exhale. So beautiful to have you with me here right now, Sarah. I feel like every time we talk, you're like actually here.
I forget that we've never met in person. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It's like ridiculous how I've never been one to really believe that like internet connections can make real connections. And yet it's kind of like having a pen pal where you're just like, I know things about you. Like we're friends, we're close, even though we've never like been in physical proximity. So I feel it. I love it. I appreciate it. I love and appreciate you so much.
I'm so grateful you're doing this. I was like, this is magic. And I'm like, of course it's magic. I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for you.
Just thank you, universe, for bringing us together and for making this happen. For all of those who are watching in the replay, we love you. You are deserving of all the love you desire. And I hope everyone here and now and in the future has a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. See you, babe.